Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Let's Create Africa. You know how we do it. Let's Create Africa, where we inform, inspire, and seek to highlight change makers in Africa. My name is Waihiga K.Muturi, and I'm with my guest today, Agolla Victor Otieno. Mr. Victor, tafadhali, could you introduce yourself? Because your bio, I can't even read your bio, sir. You'd have to really tell us about yourself. Tafadhali, introduce yourself.
Asante sana Waihiga. My name is Victor Otieno. I'm the managing director of an SME and startup consultancy called Viffa Consult. So Consult basically is an SME and startup support organization across sub-Saharan Africa. We basically offer consultancy. We do a lot of SME research, as well as supporting policy initiatives across the continent through research. So that's basically what Viffa Consult is all about.
Okay, but you've told me about your organization. I want to know about the man himself.
Yeah, so I'm a born-again Christian, married to one wife with 2 kids. So my thrust and my passion, of course, is around enterprise building. Given that I was born and raised in the Eastland part of Nairobi, and growing up, and even now you continue to see how small business people or even entrepreneurs struggling with running their businesses. So one of the passions, or my major passion, is basically to help alleviate or even improve the environment under which a lot of these small businesses operate in. So that's really what drives me and wakes me up every day.
Okay, so allow me to read something about you, because I was just looking through your biography, and that's why I've said it's a bit quite interesting. Victor Otieno MBA in Entrepreneurship, BCOM, CPA-K. He's the managing director of Viffa Consult and Policy advisor to the Association of Startup and SME Enablers of Kenya, ASSEK board. He's an SME policy advocate, SME ecosystem strategist, author, SME thought leader, SME research and consultant. Victor is deeply passionate about the African entrepreneur and has so far worked with over 500 organizations in over 5 countries in East and Southern Africa. So Victor, just to confirm, you're talking a lot about SME, and even your bio talks a lot about you and the work that you're doing with SMEs. Why are you focused with SMEs? Why is that a concern for you?
Yeah, so given that we all live in Africa, we see or even experience very high levels of course, there have been many people or many institutions who try to address these issues. We've seen a lot of aid work coming to Africa, specifically in Kenya. But what drives me, or my theory of change, is for Africa or for Kenya to really move, or for the people of Kenya to really move out of the poverty cycle. They need to be engaged profitably in enterprise. So basically, enterprise means people doing business in a profitable sense, so that you're not just in this unending cycle of poverty. So of course, given that there are many challenges that are involved in business, what drives me is, can I be able to offer a solution, even in the smallest sense, to these people who are doing business, so that they can move from point A to point B and improve their lives. So that now they can use business to basically get away from poverty and be able to fend for their own basics of food, shelter, clothing, and just paying their obligations. So that's basically why I chose SMEs. And of course, more importantly, is because SMEs drive the continent and drive the Kenyan economy. We are looking at 33% GDP. We are looking at 98% of all registered businesses. So of course, they are very, very important cause to the economic infrastructure in Kenya.
Okay, interesting. Thank you very much for that. Also, I would like to confirm, how does it feel to be in that space? I mean, there are so many challenges within the SME space. How does it feel for you to be in such a space?
I think for me, the perspective that I take is, I think if I was to borrow the words of Jesus Christ, he said that, you will always have the poor with you. So I'm not in any way under any disillusion that we are going to solve this problem today or tomorrow. But what gives me comfort is, can we be able to make even the simplest of changes? Can we be able to improve even by 0.11% or even 1%, and improve the situation? And of course, now if every stakeholder was to play their role, then we can be able to improve the situation even by a small percentage.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, now COVID-19 has also brought a very interesting challenge to the already existing challenge that is encumbering SME spaces in Africa. How exactly in your space are you solving this challenge?
Yeah, so because of course we are also an SME, so we are very limited in terms of resources. But the question that we keep on asking ourselves is, with the little resources that we have, how best can we be able to address the challenge that we have? So in terms of COVID-19, what we've done even prior, before COVID-19, was to basically highlight the challenges that SMEs continue to face, and ensure that that information is in the table of relevant stakeholders, whether it is financial institutions or government departments or even parastatals. Can we be able to package those challenges? And if, for instance, government gives a specific package or intervention, can we be able to query the veracity of these interventions to see if it actually works for SMEs? Because if you look at the SME landscape, we don't have a very strong body that can really push back to government and different stakeholders to ensure that their plights are taken care of. So that's basically the role that we are taking.
Okay. For you personally, what role are you taking? What can you just give us some impact highlights of the work that you're taking in that space?
If I was to give you context, is SMEs have challenges that they face. So these are issues around access to finance, information, management skills, policies, etc., etc. So the viewpoint that we take is we are trying to address these challenges in a systemic manner. For instance, if you are to look at issues around management skills or lack thereof, we developed on a monthly basis on an average of 3 to 4 toolkits that entrepreneurs can basically download and use in their day-to-day without paying consultancy fee or doing anything. It's just a simple 3-page PDF that they can actually use and apply to their business. And we've seen success, for example, on that. We get over 40,000 downloads a month on our case studies and our tools.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's basically one. So instead of trying to say we want to be a consultancy company, we want to charge you, we want to make money, you can't make money with people who are not making money themselves. Yeah, so that's number one. Number two is we do a lot of research around SME research that we avail to different stakeholders. Issues around access to finance, we give the exact challenges that these SMEs are facing in terms of access to finance, access to markets, etc., etc., which informs policy interventions at some point. And we've seen a lot of organizations reference our work. We've seen ITC, we've seen FSD, we've seen even government referencing some of the works that we do. And basically, that's the kind of impact we have in that area. We also work very closely with mainstream media to be able to generate, to give them proper content and proper reporting of SMEs as well as educate. So of course, our impact is tied on the challenges, and that's basically what we use to measure our success.
Okay. So just to clarify, the download toolkit, where can people download it from? If you're allowing that.
So usually we send, it's all our toolkits, all our case studies, all our research is free, and you can access them on the blog of our website, as well as our social media pages. That's what you can download anytime you want. You can read. You can reach us if in case of any clarification. We are there to help you to better your business.
Okay, what is the website, please?
www.viffaconsult.co.ke.
Okay, Viffa is a double F.
Double F, Viffa consult.co.ke. You can also check out, our social media, Viffa Consult.
Great. I've just sent that out to the team so that anybody can actually access it. Also, you've talked about research. Where can people just access this research? Personally, I must admit, I see your research on LinkedIn a lot, which I find very interesting and I share with more people. Where else do you have all of it collated?
So we actually in the process of redesigning our site to ensure that it's a bit user friendly. So traditionally what we've done is all our research is always posted on our blog, our blog tab on the website. But we've seen that sometimes users find it a challenge to access different research papers. But of course, in the next 2 weeks, we should be able to have a more user-friendly website where you can easily be able to read the content that we generate. But currently, you can look at you can go to the blog, the research insight, SME research and insight tab on our website. You should be able to see the work that lasts 8 or so years.
Okay, SME research and what tab? You say the SME research end? Hello, Victor, can you hear me? Okay, I'm assuming you can't hear me at the moment due to a technical challenge. So I'll move on to reading your bio, which says after qualifying as a certified public accountant, Bachelor of Commerce, Finance Accounting from Strathmore University and working for several years in civil society and private sector, he started his firm in 2013. Victor has worked with over 500 organizations, including Digital Africa, Strathmore School, KCS Center for Entrepreneurship, Tangaza University College, NEMA, not NEMA, but National Environmental Trust Fund, Bible Society, among many others, Victor, that you've mentioned. Victor, are you back? Okay, so we'll go on a short break as we await to get back to Victor. We are hoping to find him in a few minutes. Victor, are you back? Can you hear me?
Yes, I am back.
Oh, good.
We might have had a small technical.
It's okay.
Yes, I can hear you.
Happens a lot, I understand. You had said they can access the research and thoughts and on the SME research and what tab? You said 2 words there.
SME research and insights.
And insight tab. Okay, great. So let me take another question from somebody here, a gentleman called Kirima. He asks, why do you think your work is relevant in Africa? I think you've answered this a lot as we were continuing, but he still asks, why do you think your work is relevant in Africa?
So what we need to realize is the rest of the world uses data to make decisions. But if you come to Africa, if you come to Kenya, we rarely use data or we rarely use research to make business decisions. Okay. For instance, a lot of people who are starting business start off by just sitting either in the house or in a bar or in a restaurant, and they basically decide to start a car wash business or start a cereal selling shop, etc., without using any kind of data. And we end up making a lot of mistakes because we never took stock of what it took for you to run such a business. So it's very important that we start relying on research, relying on data to make decisions, both at firm level as well as a nation. So that decisions we are making are based on science, are based on facts, rather than opinions and intuition. So then it means that we can lessen the mistakes that we are doing. We can use our resources in the most effective manner. So that's basically the reason why we do it, to be able to give facts, to give data, to give trends, opinions, etc., so that you can be able to make better decisions for your business.
Okay. The next question is from Caroline. She is asking, how are you empowering others to emulate your work?
So we basically, what I basically do is unprecedented in the sense that we do a lot of 90% of our research, or even 99% of our research, is self-financed. So
Okay.
so that basically means that we can be able to do research that is relevant to the typical Kenyan, to Mama Wanjiko. We are not, funded by someone who basically maybe would want a certain message to be put out there. So that's one. So we are encouraging others to do the same. We work a lot with university students as well as new graduates who basically can intern at Viffa, can be able to learn the ropes. We work very closely with a lot of churches in Nairobi, as well as a lot of young people who come in and maybe would want to just be an apprentice or something. We always open to giving a lot of young people opportunities for them to cut their teeth in this particular sector.
Nice. Let me take another question then. You've answered that very well. He's actually put a thumbs up. She's put a thumbs up. Thank you.
Yeah.
Whom exactly are the greatest beneficiaries of your work? If you have, you can actually name 3 of them, if you don't mind.
Yeah, so like I said, the way our work is focused on addressing the challenges that SMEs face. So of course, this beneficiaries becomes multi-level in the sense that if you look at maybe, for example, our market intelligence research, our main beneficiaries are SMEs. So like if you noticed, during COVID, we started a series of sectors that would experience high growth in the next coming months. And we've identified, for example, coconut industry, we've identified startups, we've looked at plastic recycling as sectors that are working. So market intelligence is basically targeting SMEs for them to be able to invest and make better decisions. If you look again at our case studies, our toolkits, basically we are looking at SMEs. And we are assuming that, you might have a smartphone, you can be able to download some of these case studies, some of these toolkits, some of this market intelligence information that basically you can be able to use on your, apply to your business. Number 2, we also target different SME stakeholders. So these are financial institutions, this is government, these are NGOs, and everyone in the cycle who works with SMEs. So we give them relevant data and research and information for them to better engage SMEs. So if it's a government stimulus package, we research on the same and say, okay, now the approach that we're taking in terms of supporting SMEs might not be optimal because, for instance, 79% of SMEs are informal. So if you give a package that assumes that SMEs are formal, then that intervention is flawed. So that means government is also a very huge beneficiary of our work, as well as other NGOs, and other players that are in the SME space.
Okay. So I have somebody here called Johnson asking, if government is one of the beneficiaries of the work that you're doing, why are they not implementing what you're actually telling them?
Yeah, so if you understand advocacy work, it's not 100% guaranteed that government will take up suggestions or recommendations that you give. The best you can do is to do your recommendation and hope that someone somewhere in government picks it up. Remember, there are people who are paid to do policy, work within government. So we are only giving them extra information for them to, it's just adding to their pool of knowledge for them to make better and effective decisions in regards to SME. So that you can never get 100% guarantee that your recommendations would be picked up. But at least you rest with the fact that you gave your say and your recommendations are out there for the jury.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. Somebody else is asking, how has your industry evolved or will it evolve in lieu of the pandemic? How has your industry evolved And will it also evolve in lieu of the pandemic?
So basically, number one is we are in the space of research and consultancy. What we realized early on, even prior to COVID, is working with SMEs directly might not sustain you as a business, because a lot of, if you're looking at SMEs already, just barely getting by. You can imagine if you were to go there and say, okay, now I want to offer you consultancy services for 10,000 shillings a month. A lot of them could not be able to afford that. So that made us rethink or leverage and pivot our business to be basically a remote a remote model, where a lot of our support is offered on a remote basis. And this is prior to COVID, because we already knew that SMEs were going through challenges. And this has basically been confirmed through COVID, in the sense that we have continued to offer digital support. We have a product of around 2,000 shillings a month, where we give you a minimum number of hours of technical support, and we basically take you through our toolkits. So if you look at 2,000 shillings a month, it's something that is within it's affordable to a majority, would assume. And we've seen a rave uptake of that particular SME support product of around 2,000. So we basically call you, we have conversations around the challenges that you're facing, and we try to solve the challenges that you're facing. So of course, now that kind of a model of around subscription is something that of course we've learned over time. So I think if you're looking at subscription model, is something that we would continue to use even after COVID.
Okay. How could you advise businesses and SMEs exactly to manage during this season? For those that are managing, for those that are surviving, for those that are about to give up, how exactly would you advise them to try and manage during this season?
So I think we've done several toolkits around this issue. Number one is we've had instances where your business is basically non-essential and you're almost closing down, and you're running out of capital. So one of the options that we are really pushing SMEs to adopt is consolidation. So can we be able to take 1, 2, 3, 4 businesses? Can we be able to merge together? Can we be able to put our capital together? And can we be able to now use the consolidated entity to ride through the coronavirus? Because one of the issues that a lot of SMEs are facing is capital and working both capital and working capital. So can we be able to get 2, 3, 4, 5 of us set up, combine our business into one, and then enjoy economies of scale and the synergy of having a related unit? That's number one. Number two is to try to, if you believe your business has a strong case, can you be able to develop risk mitigation strategies? Can you be able to simulate different scenarios in the economy? What if we went for a lockdown? If you're not going for a lockdown, what can we be able to ask these pertinent questions and try to rejig our business to be able to meet with the new realities? Customers are not coming to my shop. Can I be able to explore the digital space? My suppliers from China are delaying, or the prices have increased. Can I be able to look for alternative supply chains out there? Can I be able to explore Vietnam, India, etc., etc.? So those are the two options that we are giving out. If you feel that you are almost done, can you be able to consolidate with other businesses? If you feel you have a strong business case, can you be able to build scenarios and figure out a plan B, plan C, and plan D of how you're going to survive this pandemic?
So in short, the second point, could we say that you also are insisting on businesses to diversify?
Yeah, so if it calls for you see, now it's when you're doing scenario building, it's a question of asking yourself, what if? So if, for example, my customers have are completely gone and there's no chance of me redeeming them, then the question is, what next can I do to ensure that I'm in business? And that's why if you look at some of the publications we've given out, is we are giving SMEs an option of other investable sectors, such as coconut, hydroponic farming. We are looking at plastic recycling, because government has given incentive of around 15% corporate tax if you are to invest in recycling of plastics. So of course, all cards are on the table. So it's not a question of trying to force my business to go through. If it requires that you close down humbly, very fast, learn and start as a new venture that can be profitable.
Wow, interesting. Start a new venture. Please tell us about that. How exactly do you start a new venture during COVID? Hello, Victor. Can you hear me? Hello, Victor.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. I think it was
Yes, I can hear you.
You've just mentioned that you can actually close down and start another business. So somebody is actually asking, and I'm asking also on behalf of them, how exactly do you start a new venture during this season that is COVID-19 pandemic?
Yeah. So if you look at business, like for example, a lot of businesses that are around retail, wholesale and retail, which is the top, SME subsector, is to struggle. And these people who are in Nyamakima, these are people in Kikomba, basically because they rely on imports to trade. It means that inherently they're going to struggle because of restriction of goods and etc. So what we are trying to say is, can you be able to enter into sectors that are a bit more resilient and have some shock absorbers of course. So if you look, for example, around manufacturing of plastic to make different end products, whether it's fencing products or construction material, is the input is within the country and the market is within the country. So it means that even if we were to experience a second wave of the pandemic, you can be able to still run your business comfortably. The same way for coconut and hydroponic farming. So all your inputs are within the country, or that will not be as disrupted, and your market entry, and again, it might not be as disrupted, because we are looking at products that are very essential to the daily lives of Kenya. So that's why we are saying, if your business is closing down and you're struggling, then at least there's an option that is out there that you can actually exercise.
Okay. Now to the much debated, because you've actually mentioned about going digital, which is a very great opportunity, going remote, which is also a very great opportunity. The digital tax.
Internet yetu inafanya hivyo? Ni internet inafanya hivyo? Hapana, imeswitch. No. We live. Mm.
Hello, Victor. Hello, Victor. Can you hear me?
Yes. Hi.
Very fine, thank you. The problems of our of our enterprise, it seems. Karibu sana. Pole
Yes, I
sana.
can hear
We
you.
actually were great. We were actually on a short break. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back again to another round of Let's Create Africa with Agolla, Victor Otieno. And as usual, this is where we inform, inspire, and highlight change makers in Africa. This has been brought to you courtesy of Metropole TV, Let's Create Africa, and actually now Viffa Consult, as it seems. Thank you very much, Victor, for joining us. Also, this is powered by Restream because we've been able to do this because of them now that we are working also remotely. Victor, can you hear me well? Hello, Victor. Hello, Victor. Okay, I believe they're having another technical hitch there. I hope he can get to hear us in a few minutes. Victor, can you hear me again? Okay, as we await on Victor, I think I have mentioned a few items about his biography. And Victor has worked, I repeat again, with over 500 organizations, including Digital Africa, Strathmore Business School, KCA Center for Entrepreneurship, Tangaza University College, National Environmental Trust Fund, Bible Society Kenya, Micro Enterprise Support Program, TechnoServe, Sister Leadership Development Initiative, that's in conjunction with the University of Marywood University. Startup accelerators and incubators, including iHub, Pangea, IBIS Africa, Innovate Now, brackets AMREF, Hand in Hand East Africa, among others. Okay, so we hope that this has also given you an insight into Victor. And as we are hoping to get him in a few minutes, would like you to actually please send in your questions. Remember, we are on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, so we are waiting to hear from you. Victor, are you back? Can you hear us, sir? Can you hear us, sir, as we are waiting the questions?
Yes, I'm back. I don't know if it's my connection. I'm sorry. Swikimau.
It's okay.
Yeah,
It's okay.
Swikimau has
It's okay.
issues with the connection.
It is okay, sir. At least we can hear you now, finally. And we are asking.
Yes, I can hear you.
Good, great. Because somebody is actually.
I can hear you.
Benson is asking. Benson from Nakuru is asking. Please tell us more about this digital tax. It's now that you're talking about Kenyans.
I can hear you intermittently.
Okay. Anything? Any better? Any better, Victor? Hello, Victor. Hello, Victor. Okay. Still a mix-up. Please allow us.
Okay.
Hello, Victor. Hello, Victor. Can you hear us? Welcome back. This is Let's Create Africa, as you remember, where we seek to inform, inspire, and highlight change makers in Africa. Today we have Agolla, Victor Otieno, the man of the hour, and we appreciate having him on board. Victor, we are waiting to see you. We hope that you'll be joining us in a few minutes. Also, I hope you can hear us. There is a slight hiccup on technical. So we are hoping we can get to hear him soon. Victor, can you hear us now, sir? Hello, Victor?
Yes, I can hear you, but I don't know if it's my connection that is bad. I can hear you.
It is okay. We'll manage with what we have. Hopefully we can still.
I can hear you, but you're breaking a bit.
Okay. Any better now? Hello, Victor?
Yes, Waihiga, I can hear you.
Okay, great. There's a question from Benson that we'd like answered. He's asking about the digital tax. So we'd like to hear from you about that and just get to know more about that information. So please tell us more about the digital tax and just how exactly we're supposed to manage that. Just proceed, even if you don't hear me, it's okay. I believe it's a small technical issue that we hope is not disturbing our guests. We're hoping to hear from you, Victor. I would like to read again an item from him. Victor has worked with over 500 organizations, including Digital Africa, Strathmore Business School, KCA Center for Entrepreneurship, Tangazo University College, National Environment Trust Fund, Bible Society Kenya, Micro Enterprise Support Program, TechnoServe, among others. Oh, thank you. Victor, you're back. Hello, Victor.
I'm telling you, technology is really giving us a hard time here.
It is okay, sir. At least we can see you and hear you. Can you hear me well?
Can you hear me?
Very perfectly. Can you hear me? We can hear you, sir. Oh.
Yes, I can hear you now a bit better.
Thank you. Okay, please tell us about the digital tax. Okay, and ladies and gentlemen, I believe we're having a technical hitch with Victor, Agolla Victor Otieno. So we'll continue this conversation offline and also online so that most of you can actually get to hear from us. We hope you'll also receive of our information. We hope you'll also subscribe to our channel, which is Let's Create Africa. This has been brought to you courtesy of Restream, Metropole TV, and Let's Create Africa. So we are hoping to hear more from you. This is Let's Create Africa, where we seek to inform, inspire, and highlight change makers in Africa. Thank you very much. My name is Waihiga K.Muturi, and God bless you. Okay, it seems I've not ended because Victor has just joined. Hello, Victor.
Yes.
You actually came in when I finished wrapping up the conversation, but
No worries, no worries, no worries.
no, it's okay. We can actually make time for you because at least we are not live on air until later.
Yes.
What we are asking from you is, a gentleman called Benson was asking, please tell us more about the digital tax now that you're telling us to go into remote working, into digital space. How exactly is that helpful to us, but what exactly is it even?
Yeah, so the digital tax is not something new. It's a global challenge that most governments are grappling with the rise of digital companies such as Facebook, Uber, Airbnb, etc., etc. Given that traditionally multinationals would set up offices in different countries, and they will be taxed based on their performance, on financial performance in that country. So now with digital, it means that they are operating in that country, but do not have an actual footprint in that country. So the digital tax, and if you look at other global countries, is they have developed a taxing framework for this kind of a situation. So how can government be able to tax the activities of Facebook or the activities of Uber in Kenya? So that's primarily the reason why we had the digital tax, as well as, of course, we have places such as Jumia. A lot of traders are trading on Jumia. So there is no cause to worry, because if you look at the people that are the companies that are being targeted are of a certain nature and of a certain size. You being an SME, there is no cause of alarm. Yeah, so I think if you look at the provisions, maybe is for there to be a threshold. Maybe, for example, someone below a certain turnover will not be taxed because they're already paying as a final tax as an SME. So it doesn't matter whether you sell online or offline. As long as you're making sales and you are an SME, you will pay your turnover tax, and that is a final tax. So it's I don't see a cause for worry for us moving into the digital space.
Okay, interesting. That is very refreshing to hear. Which brings another conversation. A group of individuals are actually planning, and some of them have already submitted declarations and clauses and memorandum for complaining in regard to the digital tax. What advice do you have for them?
I think from my own understanding is there are several memorandums that have been put out. For any by government.
Hello, Victor.
Consolidate that into one coherent document in e-commerce from a certain section, from a section of them giving different memorandums that is serving their own interest. I think the best strategy would be for them to come together, both big and small. Sorry,
Victor, we lost you there. We lost you again. Pardon us for that technical hitch again. It's seemingly beyond us, it seems, but we're hoping for the best. Agolla Victor, we're waiting for you. We have lost you again because of a technical hitch. In the meantime, I'll proceed with your biography as you had given. Oh, and he's come back again. Hello, Victor.
Yes.
You're back again.
I'm not sure what's happening actually. I don't know if it's my connection or it's I'm not very sure.
It's okay. I think we are still here connected, and it just keeps disappearing. We had lost you there on interpretation. So please repeat that information for us again. I was telling you about the individuals who are trying to actually bring their complaints along. Yes, please.
Yeah, so usually the way government works, government likes having conversations with organized groups, with membership kind of a grouping. So I think because of the lack of an organized group around e-commerce or an association around e-commerce, the best way would be to find out who else is writing to government in terms of trying to protest or to give whatever recommendations, and have all those players sit together on a table and develop a coherent document that would be handed to government that addresses all the members' issues, rather than having to put in different memorandums. I think for me that would be the best way.
Interesting. Okay, so last but not least, Victor, as we are ending this session, the question is, please tell us about your favorite book that has actually pushed you into whichever space that you are in. We'd like to hear about that. Tell us your best book that you like that has actually empowered you this far. And in regard to that, I also would like to say something about your bio. So as I was saying, he served with Bible Society Kenya Micro Enterprise Support Program, TechnoServe Sister Leadership Development Initiative, University of Marywood, Startup Accelerators and Incubators, including iHappen, IBIS Africa, Innovate Now, which is an umbrella arm, hand in hand East Africa, amongst others. Victor has also co-authored Agri-Business Management Handbook, published by TechnoServe and funded by USAID. And this is interesting. Victor, we can't hear you. Sorry, you're in, but we can't hear you. Can you hear us? Okay, let's see. Victor, can you hear us?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. We are ending, so don't worry, it's okay. The last question is, please tell us about your most favorite book that actually pioneered you into where you are and with the change making that you're doing within the continent.
Yeah, so that's a very tricky question. Because I read tons and tons of books in a month.
It is okay.
Yeah, so but what really gives me grounding, and what gives me the push is actually the Bible, because it gives me the basic principles and the competitive advantage that and the wisdom and understanding that usually a lot of these books might not be able to give you. But of course, right now I'm currently reading Eric Rice on lean startups, so I get a lot of inspiration and a lot of learnings from different writings, as well as I subscribe to the Harvard Business Review, Stanford, insights and stuff. So I get I do a lot of readings and try to ask myself, what is the implication of what I'm reading to the common mwananchi? How can they be able to get an understanding of these things, and how can it be able to positively impact their day-to-day?
Thank you very much. Today we've had Agolla Victor Otieno. It was a pleasure hosting you, sir. There was a lot to learn today and a lot. I hope you'll also have time for us to just come by to you and actually get more information spread around. This program has been made possible by Metropole TV, Let's Create Africa, and Restream, which is a platform that we're using to work also from home. My name is Waihiga K.Muturi, and this is Let's Create Africa, where we seek to inform, inspire, and highlight change makers in Africa. Have a good day, and God bless you all. Thank you very much, Victor.
Asante sana.